Hello everybody, this is Miss Sonia Gigla, the principal of Douglas Memorial High Secondary School, and I welcome you all to the fourth episode of my podcast series, Talk the Talk. So today we're going to talk all about health and hygiene. So you already know that we are sailing through this crisis, and it has been a real eye-opener to all. And it has certainly taught us that life cannot be taken for granted and health cannot be neglected, and we cannot be careless enough to abuse our bodies and minds. Because when I talk about health, I'm just not talking about the physical health, but also mental and spiritual health. So with all the negativity and toxicity that's surrounding us, I feel that we should be mindful enough to know and responsible enough to protect ourselves, to secure ourselves, and to know that we need to put all good and positive vibes into our bodies and feed positivity into our minds, because health is wealth after all, and our body and our mind is our own temple, and we must do everything in our capacity to not abuse our bodies, but to keep it safe and secure. So today I have a very special guest for this podcast series. We have Dr. Supratik Bhattacharya. Sir, I welcome you to this podcast series. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, so before
Thank you so much. It's been an honor for me, actually. Thank you.
It's a privilege for me too, sir. And before jumping into the conversation with you, I would like to introduce you to my viewers. So, Dr. Supratik Bhattacharya is the director of SKN Diabetes and Endocrine Center, Kolkata. He's also the consultant Department of Endocrinology at AMRI Salt Lake and Apollo Sugar, Kolkata. He's also won the award for Best Diabetes Awareness DI 2017. He's also the best rated endocrinologist for past 4 years. He's been an author of 10 international publications in index journals. He's been a part of multiple phase 3/4 studies, including Global Diaramadan study, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it.
The Ramadan study, actually.
Okay, Ramadan study. Thank you for correcting me. He's also the fellow of Royal College of Physicians, American College of Physicians, Diabetes India, Indian Society of Hypertension. He's also been the speaker at various national and international conferences. He's been a part of organizing committee of Diabetes India 2021, DiaRecon 2020, also the national scholar and rank holder in 10th board exam and gold certificate holder in A-level exam UK, distinction holder in medical school and post-graduation. So sir, once again, I welcome you to Talk the Talk. So like I had already mentioned, that today's topic of discussion is all about health. So health is wealth. So can I start shooting questions at you, sir?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So since I mentioned that when we are talking about health, it's just not the physical health. So it's also about the mental health. So my first question to you would be, how are you feeling today?
I think how you feel, you translate that and you sort of put that into your patients as well and the people surrounding you. So I think to start the day, you need to be filled with positivity and you should be feeling the vibe yourself, so that the people surrounding you also feels that. And
Okay.
I start my day in a similar fashion. I try and be as positive in the morning. And even at the end of the day, when I'm really tired or worn out, I try and put a smile on my face, because the last person who sees me is seeing me for the first time. So he doesn't know how I was in the morning. So I make sure that I am as positive at the end of the day as I was the first thing in the morning.
Okay, sir. So, sir, everywhere in the world, I mean, this is like a universal concept that doctor is a noble profession. And and with the community, I'm sorry to say that, but there's a love and hate relationship. I mean, with the kind of profession that you are dealing with. So there's a huge amount of pressure that you need to take in on a daily basis. So once the community is hero worshipping you and they're putting you onto a big, a huge pedestal, and then they are just zonking you down. So how are doctors in and around Kolkata withstanding the pressure amidst such crisis?
So it's been a very difficult time for everyone, and of course, the doctors being the frontline warriors in this
Yes.
particular war. So it's been a especially difficult time for them. So I think we are having to work really hard because we are having to see our patients both on tele platforms as well as actually go out there and see the patients themselves. But at the same time, we want to ensure that the safety of the people who are with us, whether it's a healthcare professional who is working with us or the family, they are safe as well. So we need to maintain the safety protocols. And I must emphasize that that needs to be there to the maximum extent possible. So we cannot be casual about how we take our safety into concern.
I think
But overall, I think it's a challenging situation for everyone.
and I feel like as a doctor you're juggling a lot because you're doing these online webinars and then you're physically present
Yes.
at the hospitals to take care of your patients, so it's a lot to take in
Yes. Yes.
on a daily basis. Okay, so now it's a sad fact that India has now become the epicenter of this crisis, and the virus has been spreading exponentially over the months, and patients have somehow outnumbered the hospitals in Kolkata. So could you please explain the scenario to the public?
So,
How is it out there?
so the scenario has been changing since the time we got aware of the conditions, say in March when the lockdown first began.
Yes.
So I think one major thing that has happened was in March there was a lot of news on the media. People were aware about it. They didn't know much about the disease, so they feared and they adhered to all the protocols that we were advising them to do. And doctors as well knew very less about the disease. Now, as the time has gone by, the lockdown has been taken off in phases. I think people are becoming a little complacent about the safety protocols that we keep emphasizing, whether it's wearing the mask or sanitizing their hands or keeping the social distancing. And there's a pseudo feeling of ecstasy, and I feel that they're feeling that they had been locked down for too long, and they need to come out now. So
Especially
I think,
when Pujo is around.
absolutely. So it's all the occasions that are coming by one after the other, and they're finding reasons to rejoice and celebrate with each other. I think we try and emphasize and tell how important it is to understand that we are still on the rise, and there are a lot many patients who are getting affected on a daily basis. And of course, we have a limited capacity when it comes to admitting the patient. We have a certain number of beds that are available. So the safety is in their hands. Of course, a majority of the patients can be treated at home. They would not warrant admission into the hospital unless they have the more severe form of the disease. Yet, I must emphasize that health should not be taken lightly, and all the precautions that we advise them to take, that they should be adhered to.
I understand. So, since you're saying that people are rejoicing now, I mean, they're looking forward to this Pujo season that's coming forward. So they have completely forgotten about this crisis that is still there. And I feel that somehow we have become irresponsible again, because once I step out of my house, I've seen that people are eating their regular fuchkas and they're going into restaurants and having their meals, and they're going for their Pujo shopping, and some are wearing masks and some are not wearing masks. So what is this thing about the masks where the government has already declared that whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask, it doesn't affect your health at all? So could you comment on this? Like, is wearing a mask essential?
It is absolutely mandatory and it is essential. I don't know what the official statement is on this from the government.
There's a word around. There's a word around. So yeah.
As a medical professional, we have emphasized and we have told it over and over again that mask has to be worn till the time vaccine comes. This is your only vaccine that you get. So wearing a mask both ways, the person who you are speaking with and yourself, is going to reduce the viral load to a great extent, the chances of transmission to a great extent. So you cannot be casual about this. And we have evidence to support this. So it's not just a statement, but we have medical evidence to state that the transmission is significantly reduced if you're wearing mask.
Okay, sir. So, how are the other healthcare workers like the nurses and the compounders? How are they coping with the pressure? And are they being supportive enough?
I think they have been extremely supportive of what we do. So we always work as a team. So the doctor can't work alone. You need a good team to support you, and the healthcare professionals, whoever it is, whether it's the nurses or the support staff that you have in your hospital, they play equally vital role in
Yeah.
the management of this. COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, the priority of their safety, of course, becomes a priority for the physicians as well. So we want to ensure that they are wearing the proper PPEs that we recommend
Yeah.
for them, because again, you cannot be casual about these kind of things, because they
Not
are
at all.
front lines, they are coming in direct contact with the patients, and they need to be very, very careful while dispensing their duties as well. But overall, they have
Yes.
been very supportive.
Supportive. So, could you break few of the myths surrounding coronavirus? Just the fact about masks, I told you. I mean, there's a word going around. So many things that have been circulating, and that has like no evidence, like no support, like you're saying. So, what do you have to say about that?
I think the major example comes from the West, where people have had this false idea of well-being, and they thought that masks were useless. And we
Yes.
know that for a fact that it didn't work in US, it didn't work in UK, for example, or any other countries that we are looking into. So many of the high-ranked politicians or the professionals there are getting affected because of the pseudo feeling of well-being there, and not wearing the masks or doing the safety protocols. So I must emphasize on this fact. And so there are a lot of myths that were floating around since the beginning. So we are gradually getting to know more and more about the disease. For example, in the beginning, a lot of people were eating garlic, for example, and they thought that garlic is going to help you. But we do not have any evidence that it works at all. On a routine basis, people are having vitamin C supplementations, zinc, and then vitamin D supplementations, which are being given routinely. Again, we do not have a very robust data to support the use of any of these. So these are just small numbers which are getting benefited, but whether it's actually
I feel
working.
these are home remedies that people are,
Yes, but I think
following, and
I think everybody is on a vitamin supplement, for example, because that gives them a feeling that they're protected. Many of them are taking over-the-counter medications like hydroxychloroquines and
yes,
antibiotics like azithromycin. Again,
yeah,
we do not recommend that to be used just over the counter, because there are certain side effects that are assigned to those medications, and that should be strictly taken under professional supervision and if required.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely, sir. Any other myths, sir, that you feel is
so I think,
baseless and
yeah, I mean, so there were a lot of myths at the beginning, as I say, and then as things are getting clearer, we are getting more and more information. So one thing we know for sure is that if you sanitize your hand over and over again with the alcohol-based sanitizer, that works. So
okay,
we know that the masks work. We know that the social distancing works.
works.
So these are the three things that needs to be there too. Moreover, I want to give you a very a small analogy of how things work for COVID. So if you have a matchstick, for example, and if you have fired the matchstick and you just sit around, it's just going to be put off in a few minutes' time. So it's not going to do any harm. But if you have a cylinder full of, say, a gas like petrol or something, and you're bringing the matchstick close to that, there will be an explosion. So
Absolutely.
contact is very important for this virus. So that's how we sort of emphasize on the social distancing and the mask part. We say that you cannot sit at home and it's not like a missile that's going to come and hit you. So there has to be a contact for you to acquire the disease. So many people,
Okay.
like the elderly who are sitting at home, are also getting the disease because somebody from the family is actually going out to work and bringing the disease back with them. So we have to emphasize the safety protocols for them as well. So they have to be very safe when they understand they have children and elderly at home.
Okay. So is it true that coronavirus is mostly affecting people who are old and ailing, and all the other age groups are safer than them?
So again, that's been a myth. We knew that elderly were getting more affected, but now we see all sorts of age groups. So it's across the board, whether it's the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, everybody is getting affected. Of course, the outcomes vary based on whether you have the comorbidities. So if you have diabetes, which is uncontrolled, if you have a kidney problem, if you have a heart problem, liver problem. So in those patients, if you get the COVID-19 infection, the outcomes are more severe. There are more deaths in those kind of patients. But overall, acquiring the disease is across the board. So the myth is not there that it's only the elderly. Yes, to a certain extent, the children are getting the disease less commonly as compared to the adults, but that's where we draw the line.
Since you spoke about people who are suffering from this organ dysfunction and also, so what about patients who suffer from these chronic diseases like asthma, diabetes, or organ dysfunction? So what
So
are
again,
their chances of surviving or their rate of survival?
yeah, so as we say that diabetes, for example, where the sugar is uncontrolled, is a pro-inflammatory condition. Similarly, asthma is a prevailing lung condition, which already,
Okay.
to a certain extent, causes harm to the lungs. So any
Yes.
prevailing chronic conditions which predispose you will have a more severe outcome if a person happens to get COVID-19 infection. So they have to be very careful. So the sugar needs to be controlled. If somebody is having respiratory chronic conditions with the respiratory system, they need to be taking proper precautions so that they do not acquire the disease at all. Similarly, with kidney problems, heart problems, all of these will result in more fatalities, more complications, and severe outcomes if they're admitted to the hospital.
Okay, sir. So, how to prepare parents who have, these newborn babies? So, how to protect the newborn babies and kids who are quite young from this virus?
Right. So it's not uncommon that so it's as a protocol. Anyone who is the mother who is getting admitted before delivery, they are being screened for the COVID-19 infection. And again, once the delivery is done before they're discharged, they are again being sort of screened for the COVID-19 infection. So many times it does happen that they are, while they're being screened at admission, they're coming negative. And while they go back home, they acquire the disease. And it's very unfortunate for them. So again, there is nothing special that you need to do. The breast milk is a good immunity
Yes,
booster. So
for the
we
baby.
emphasize that a mother should lactate, whoever is lactating should be breastfeeding for at least 6 months. So that gives a internal immunity booster.
Boost.
Boost to the infant as such,
Yes, yes.
but rather except for that, I don't think there is anything special that you need to do for the child as such.
I think for the newborn babies, the best medicine would be a mother's breast milk
Yes,
and
yes.
nothing else. Okay, sir. So we cannot prevent the virus from attacking us. So how do we immune our system to fight this disease?
Yeah, so I mean, there's no easy way forward. So you have to acquire some healthy habits. So as I said, it's just not popping pills. It's not taking the vitamin supplements. Really.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's just having some good habits that you inculcate for yourself. Get a good 7 hours of sleep at night. That works really well, and that goes a long way to boost your immunity. Have a good mental health. So don't let yourself be distressed. So anxiety, depressions are a common thing that is happening with the prevailing situation. Sometimes it's beyond our control, but I think the best way forward is to speak about it with the near and dear ones, and try and find a hobby for yourself, whatever you like doing. So keep your mind busy, try and do things. Taking long walks, for example, and does help you. And of course, I must emphasize that if you're taking brisk walks at all, please do not wear your mask, because if you're exerting yourself,
Yes.
unless you're actually stopping by and talking to another person, when you should be wearing your mask. So any strenuous physical activities, do not wear your mask at that point of time.
Yeah, because
But
you feel suffocated. And I've
yes,
seen so many
so
outside
people
wearing
can
the mask
collapse.
and going out.
Yeah,
Yes,
people
going out.
can collapse if you're doing strenuous physical activities where you're actually wearing the mask. So that's not required unless you're actually communicating with somebody
Yeah.
else. Um, Third thing that we say is that you have a healthy eating pattern. So you should have nutritious food, and you should have a balanced diet. So your plate should be looking as colorful as it should. It should be like the rainbow, if at all. So you should have a proper representation of the carbs, proteins, fat, and also
Fibers.
yeah, the fibers as well. So that is absolutely mandatory that you should be doing. And also, as I said, take control of your health condition. So if you're having a prevailing chronic condition, ensure that you're seeing your doctors regularly, so that your for example, your diabetes is under control, your kidney problem is under control. Because as I say, if they're uncontrolled, that's when the problem arises. So if
Right.
they're all under control, your chances of having the disease or the outcomes is similar to another person who doesn't. So make sure that you're on top of your health as such. So I think all of these together will lead you to a good immunity. And of course, as I said, whether it's brisk walking or any form of yoga or exercise on a daily basis, you should find something for yourself, whatever suits you. So many people complain that they're having knee pains if they're walking fast. Then don't do knee pains. If don't do brisk walking,
Brisk
do
walking.
as much as you can. Do
Maybe
some
yoga or
yogas, do
meditation.
some yogas
Yeah.
or whatever works for you. So it has to be
Yeah.
customized.
Okay. So good sleep and healthy food and exercise are
Yes,
what you're recommending
absolutely.
for your immunity. Okay, sir. So people all around are not only being affected physically but are also mentally distressed. So how could one beat the blues and overcome this difficult phase of life?
Absolutely. So the mental condition is taking a toll, as I said, and many of us are feeling the anxiety or the depression, and that's bound to happen. I mean, it's all part and parcel of the life itself. And with the difficult condition that we have now, but as we mentioned just earlier, that I think the best way forward is find a hobby for yourself. Do you like listening to music, reading books, or watching TV, for example? Do that. Whatever makes you feel good about yourself. Talk to your friend, talk to your family, spend some time with them as much as you can. I think the good part of this lockdown was that we got significantly more time to spend with the family.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
I think
That is
our
the
children
positive
got more of
side to
us.
this
Yes.
lockdown, I feel.
So, so I always look at the silver lining of the
Mm,
situation rather than just it's not all bad. So we just need to look at the brighter side of this, and that's about it. I think uh, everyone is connected on a digital platform now. It's easier. You can just pick up the phone and speak to your friend or near one, and that will sort of help you in maintaining your
yeah.
mental health as such.
Or maybe visit a clinical psychologist or a counselor
Yes, I mean,
if they need professional help.
if you require help, please do go and see a professional. That's
Yeah.
absolutely mandatory. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, what's your final message to our viewers today?
So I want to congratulate you on this wonderful initiative. I think you're
Thank you.
reaching out to a lot of people, and
Thank you so
uh,
much.
viewers who get to hear this on different aspects of life will get enlightened. And I think I think it's an empowering thing that you're doing for everyone. And
Thank you so much,
I
sir.
want to
Thank you so
conclude this
much.
by congratulating you on this effort.
Thank you
So,
so much.
so
Thank
thank
you.
you. Stay safe, everyone, and take care of yourselves. All right.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking some time out of a busy schedule and doing this for me. I'll be forever grateful to you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Uh, I'm sure the viewers must have enjoyed this session. It was very informative and educational.
One more
So,
thing.
yes,
Sorry, I cut you off.
no,
I
no,
just wanted to show
it's
you at the
okay.
end of the thing that this is a N95 mask, which is
Yes.
not mandatory. Do not wear the masks with the valves. That is not mandatory for you. N95 mask is not mandatory for you. It does reduce the COVID-19 infection significantly. However, a triple layered surgical mask is equally as effective. So
Okay.
one more myth buster, and I'm
All
very
right.
sorry to cut you off. So if
No,
you could,
it's fine, sir. I know. I mean, there are so many fancy masks out there, so we cannot decide which one to choose and which one to leave. So, thank you for this information. So, I hope the viewers found this educational and got some valuable information out of this session. So, thank you for tuning in today, and I'll be coming up with more podcast videos. So, until then, take care and stay safe. Thank you.